The sellers who start their Amazon ads early don't just win Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they dominate all of Q4 and the upcoming holiday shopping seasons. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your Amazon ad strategy for the upcoming Black Friday and Cyber Monday using data, planning, and timing to scale your results. So as we know, the holiday opportunity is massive for Amazon sellers because Q4 is the biggest time for you to maximize your sales and get the most out of every single customer because it's the biggest and highest e-commerce traffic of the year. And Amazon data shows major traffic surges beginning weeks before Black Friday, continuing through Cyber Monday and into December and before Christmas. So here are some key outcomes for sellers who prepare early, okay? One of them is obviously higher visibility in competitive search terms. So if you prepare ahead of time, typically you will have higher organic rankings on these keywords. Maybe it can be seasonal keywords for Christmas, anything of the sort. And pretty much you are going to be more visible if you prepare ahead of time, okay? Another thing is lower cost per clicks by launching before bidding peaks. Typically, this is very, very common because as we know, leading up to the holiday, a lot more people are going to start bidding on these keywords and they're going to be a little bit more aggressive because they want to showcase to more customers. But by you being ahead of time and preparing when others are not, you will typically have a lower cost per click and be trying to scale and rank on these keywords. So it's also a benefit there. And the third thing is it's more stable performance throughout the peak. So you don't have to constantly be aggressive during that little time period, those 2 or 3 weeks. If you just stay consistent throughout the month prior or like a month and a half prior, that's very, very important. So why does early planning matter? Okay, because we want to set clear, measurable goals ahead of the season and it enables smarter budget allocation and ad placement. Making sure that you know exactly how much you plan on spending during that holiday period and how much inventory you have in stock, what's your current sales velocity, how you accounting for that is very, very important because we want everything to work in a full channel where if we increase our spend and we're getting tons of sales, but we're not out of stock, that's horrible. We don't want to do that, right? Versus if we have tons of inventory, but we're not getting enough visibility, then we just have so much inventory stuck there that you might have to liquidate eventually, right? So advertisers who align campaigns by mid-October consistently outperform last-minute setups. Early preparation also helps you capture early shoppers searching for gift ideas. So as you know, before Christmas, people typically shop like as early as a month prior, to be honest, right? 3 weeks, a month. So it's really important to try to get those customers also because last-minute shoppers, obviously there are a lot of them, but there's a lot who prepare really ahead of time. And it gives you data to optimize bids before cost rise, which is also another important thing. We want to at least have a time period to optimize our ad campaigns. And lastly, in maintaining consistent presence throughout the entire holiday window. So here's Amazon's holiday advertising marketing guide. Pretty much it gives you an outline exactly how you can start advertising before these peak seasons. So I'm going to quickly go over a bunch of stuff we have included in this and then how it can also guide you. So if you don't know exactly what your goals are for the holiday season, this is a perfect way for you to actually write it out for you and give you sort of a timeline or expectations for you. So for example, if my business goal is to acquire 10,000 new customers through November 1st and 30th, write that down. How are you going to measure success using that? How much are you going to spend on ads? What is your current sales velocity? I would consider the goal achieved when, between what time period, okay? To deliver this, what am I going to experiment with? Am I going to do different ad types, different targeting, different sponsored display campaigns, sponsored brand videos, anything like that to bring in more awareness, right? And you can put another business goal here and a third one here. But listing this out is very, very important, especially if you haven't experienced Q4 properly and you're in a stage of scaling quite well now. You really want to outline exactly what your expectations are and how you are planning to achieve that. So here it's telling us exactly what the expected time frame is customers do before holiday shopping. So before Thanksgiving is about 42%, which is actually really, really quite high. And Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday about 27%, and Cyber Monday to New Year about 31%. But this pretty much outlines like planning advertising activity only around Black Friday and Cyber Monday potentially means missing out on large audiences. So it's very important to maximize all of these holiday seasons at once. So some quick tips for exactly how we can optimize our ads during this time period. So one thing you can do is update creatives across your sponsored products and sponsored brands. So for example, if it's a gifting product or it's Halloween or Christmas or whatever, how can we sort of implement this into our listing to reflect that to a customer, okay? We can also cast a wider net by reaching adjacent interests. So beyond Blender and include keywords like kitchen mixer, food processor, that's very broad. We want to be very broad and also very specific in what we're targeting. This is where sponsored display retargeting ads work a lot, in-market audiences, study demographics. All of these can do really, really well. Nothing, obviously, if you have a really big catalog, refresh your brand store with all seasonal items and stuff like that. And you can even test out lifestyle images or seasonal A+ content. So the biggest thing you can take away from this is obviously advertisers saw an increase of 121% in units sold using sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored displays during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So obviously, as we know, it's a very important time. We have tons and tons of more traffic coming onto Amazon. So you want to maximize that, right? So we have to have a plan beforehand to account for all of this. Here is a quick playbook for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Step 1 is prepare. So set campaign goals as outlined by October typically, or like early November, okay? Audit your listings, your titles, images, it plus content, reviews. Are you selling your product with benefits? Is your title showcasing clearly what it is in the first subsection? Because consider for mobile viewers, they can only read the first sentence. So maximize that. Do we have good A plus content? All important things. Your budget. What is your targeting structure? Step 2 is obviously launch. So you don't have to launch new campaigns. Maybe you already have all these campaigns running. Can we double down on stuff further that is working? Go into your search term report, see what's working. Let's double down on this, right? Look at the trend of search volume for new keywords in the market. You can use tools like Helium 10, Jungle Scout, Zone Guru, everything to see what the trend is for these search volume keywords. So we're ahead of time and we're trying to rank on it, okay? Layer in sponsor brand for visibility using videos, sponsor display for retargeting. As I said, obviously after these holidays, a lot of people add a product to their cart, but they don't end up buying. But we still want to try to retarget them and convert them into buyers. That's where sponsor display comes in. Step 3 is obviously optimize. We always want to optimize. Monitor your cost per clicks, monitor your conversion rate, adjust bids to balance spend versus sales, track everything, and keep campaigns active throughout December. The key benefits for advertisers during this time period is improved visibility across major shopping events, obviously, more efficient ad spend through data-led targeting. So typically people who are shopping at this time are going to buy something regardless. So they typically have bigger, higher search intent. For example, if someone's searching for Christmas and Christmas is like a week away, they're going to go on Amazon, they're going to buy something, right? Because the conversion likelihood is very, very high. So we want to maximize that. And the next thing is consistent brand exposure during peak buying intent. So showcasing all of our catalog, sponsored brand videos, sponsored display videos, anything of the sort, targeting competitor listings. You really want to maximize your visibility during this time period. And to finish off, here are some common mistakes to avoid. First one, obviously, and the most important one, is just launching too late or just not launching at all. Campaigns started after mid-November face higher cost per click and lower reach typically because you have a lot of sellers already bidding on these keywords. So we want to be ahead of time, as I said. That's the entire point of this. Also, another thing is turning off ads after Cyber Monday. Momentum always continues throughout December, and you don't want to have like a time period between Cyber Monday and Christmas where you're just not focused on scaling because you miss out while your competitors are still scaling aggressively. So you don't want to miss that out. And third thing, it can be if you're ignoring international potential, which is always a good thing for you. So I will leave the Amazon ads guide in the description. Let me know your thoughts, leave a like, subscribe, and have the best of luck.